Hello everyone, I welcome you all to another lecture with Zenith Academy Online. I am Shravika Jamnik and I will be your teacher for today. Today we are going to learn a chapter from class 6 CBSE, that is sources of food. Food, where does it come from? Every day we eat a variety of foods. We have so much variety that if you talk to a friend today and ask him or her what they had for lunch, they will probably not have the same answer as you. So today let's learn about food in depth. Let's begin. Importance of food. Nutrients. What does food give us? Food gives us nutrients. And what are nutrients? Nutrients are substances present in food that are needed for growth and maintenance of the body. So, for our everyday growth and for the maintenance of our body is like a machine which will require maintenance, will require growth. And for all this, what do we need? Food. And for all this, we will need nutrients. Nutrients we are getting from food. Let's see what are the main uses of food. Energy. For all the activities that we do during the day, during the night, throughout our lifetime, we will do activities, and for all this, we will require energy. Without energy, we will not be able to perform our simplest tasks, everyday tasks. So, energy is provided by food. Material needed for growth. We keep growing throughout our life, and for this growth, we require food. Without food, the growth may get hindered. Repair and replacement of worn out tissues. We all have fallen at least once in our lifetime, and we notice that our tissues will break down, that is, we will have a wound, and food is what helps in repairing and replacing these worn out tissues. So if you are eating healthy, then your wound will repair and heal very quickly. So please eat healthy food. Keeps body healthy and helps to fight diseases. It keeps our body healthy. If we eat healthy food, we will be healthy, our body will be healthy, and we will be immune to so that we can fight with diseases better. Now moving on to ingredients. What are ingredients? The different items that make up food are called ingredients. So we make various dishes such as there's plain rice, there's biryani. But what's different in these two? The ingredients. The things that go inside these dishes to make them. For example, the different items in making a rice are rice, water, maybe salt and oil, and this goes in making rice. But in case of biryani, we have a lot of other ingredients such as we will have spices, we will not only rice, water and salt, we will have different spices, we will have meat or vegetables and onions. All this will go into making a biryani. So in these two dishes, what's different is the ingredients, that is the different items that make up this food. Now let's go to sources of food. Where do we get food from? We get food from plants and animals. And in plants, there are different sources such as cereal and pulses. Different kinds of cereals such as wheat, corn, barley, there's oats, rice, all this will come under your cereals. Then we have pulses. Pulses such as chickpeas, there's kidney beans, all these will come under pulses. Fruits and vegetables. We eat a variety of fruits and vegetables and they come from a plant. So let's see how different parts of plants will give us different kinds of vegetables and fruits. For example, roots will give roots are a source of food, branches are a source of food, leaves, stem, fruits and flowers, all these are different sources of food. Let's see them one by one. Root vegetables. From the root of a plant, we get vegetables such as carrot, parsnip, turnip, beetroot. All these come from root vegetables. Then from the leaves, we get things like amaranth, we get fenugreek, that is methi, we get spinach. All these we get from the leaf part of the plant. Then we have something called as a bulb or a stem that is underground. When the stem of a plant is underground, it's called a bulb. And all these are an example of a bulb, such as onion, potato. So potato is basically stem of a plant. Then there are onions. Then we have ginger. All this comes under the bulb or the stem part of the plant. Then we have fruits. These are all fruits of a plant. Pumpkin is a fruit, tomato is a fruit, and brinjal. All these are fruits of a plant. What remains? Flowers. So cauliflower and broccoli are a very good example of flowers of a plant that we consume as a source of food. Now let's move to other foods. What are some other foods? Other foods such as nuts. We have cashew nut, we have pistachio, we have almonds, all macadamia nuts. All these come under other foods, other sources of food that we get from plants. Then we have spices. We have a lot of spices such as saffron, allspice, there's black pepper. All this will come under different sources of food that we again get from plants. Then we have herbs such as sage, oregano, parsley. All this we will get again from plants. We have coffee and tea leaves from plants. And we also get all our different oils, the different types of oils that we make to fry, that we use to make our food. All this we will also get from plants, such as uh, all these oils are made from the seeds of the plants, seeds of the flowers. So, all plants. So, in this case, we have sunflower oil, groundnut oil, sesame oil, mustard oil. This oil is made with the help of seeds of certain plants. Now, let's move to sources of food from animals. First is meat. Meat can be goat meat, chicken, then they can be fishes. All this will come under meat. When we are eating the muscle of an animal, that is called meat from the animal. Then we have eggs. Eggs we get from chicken, from hens, or we get eggs from ducks. Different animals will give us different eggs as well. Milk. Milk is also another very good source of food from animals, and we also get a lot of other byproducts as well from milk, such as we get curd, we get cheese, butter, all this also we will get from milk. Honey. So we get honey with the help of honeybees, which again comes from source of food from animals. Now let's move to classification based on feeding habits. Based on what organisms eat, they have been divided into two categories based on what organisms feed on, their feeding habits. First is producer and second is consumer. Producers are the organisms that can produce their own food without relying on something else. So, what these without relying on other organisms. So, producers rely on what kind of things? They will rely on things such as sunlight, water, oxygen, carbon dioxide. So, the producers will be able to produce their own food. In case of plants, they will produce their own food with the help of a process called as photosynthesis. Whereas consumers will need to consume something. They will consume other organisms. So let's see what consumer has been divided into. Consumer has been divided into herbivores, carnivores, omnivores, parasites and decomposers. So let's one by one look at them. What are herbivores? Herbivores are the animals or organisms that will eat only herbs, only they will eat plants. And they have a special characteristic, that is they have two types of teeth. They will have sharp cutting teeth at front and flat wide grinding teeth at the back, so they can chew the plants easily. Then we have carnivores. Carnivores such as lions, tigers, all these will come under carnivores. So what do? They eat flesh. They eat flesh of other animals. They have very sharp, long teeth so that they can tear the flesh of animals and they can eat that. Now, what are omnivores? Omnivores, humans are a very good example of omnivores. Animals that eat both plants and animals are called omnivores. So it's not necessary that omnivores will eat all kinds of plants and all kinds of animals, but omnivores will eat animals and plants, but not all kinds of animals and plants. They'll eat certain parts maybe of different animals, different plants. And what are other examples of omnivores? There are other examples such as bears, crows, which are omnivores similar to humans. Then we have parasites. Parasites live on or inside the bodies of other living organisms, such as here we have a flea. Flea is a parasite that will have a pipe-like structure called proboscis that will suck the blood of the organism, and it totally makes the organism their home, and it will live in the organism or on the organism and keep sucking nutrients and food products from the organism. Other example is lice. Lice is another good example of a parasite that live on our head, in our hair, and keep sucking everything, all our nutrients. It lives in our hair, makes its home in our head. Then there are decomposers. What are decomposers? They are organisms such as bacteria, snails, or fungi. Mushrooms, they are an example of fungi. They break down the organic components in the remains of dead plants. So, whenever there are any dead plants that have been consumed and they are left like that, so in that case, decomposers will come all over it and they will break down the remains of the dead plants. So now let's move on to a food chain. What is a food chain? So whatever we have seen till now, we have seen producers, consumers. So the food chain will represent this food dependence of organisms in a natural environment. We have seen that producers don't rely on other organisms, whereas consumers will rely on other organisms. This dependence of food, the food dependence is represented in the form of a chain, and that's called a food chain. Organisms at first level are called producers. Then the organisms after first level that will consume the producers are called primary consumer. Then we have followed by carnivores, omnivores, and that is called secondary consumer and tertiary consumer. So let's see a food chain in detail. Here is a food chain. First, we have at the first stage, we have our producers, that is grass, that will produce its own food with the help of sunlight, water, and some air particles. And from there, that is oxygen, carbon dioxide. From there, these producers will get consumed by something that is a primary consumer, that is a herbivore, which will completely rely on producer for its food. So a grasshopper that is a primary consumer will eat this grass or producer and sustain its living. Then this primary consumer will be consumed by secondary consumer, a frog which relies on grasshopper for its living, for its food. Frog is dependent on insects such as grasshopper, that is primary consumer for its food. So what does the frog become? The frog becomes a secondary consumer in this case. Then this frog is eaten by a tertiary consumer. Again, the frog will also be eaten by a tertiary consumer, that's something like a snake. Then this snake will be eaten by a hawk, and this is a final consumer. So a hawk will eat these tertiary consumers. We have something known as a scavenger as well. Scavenger will mainly feed on dead animals and dead plants. So whenever there are any dead animals or dead plants, like for example this hawk, if it is dead and it is just lying somewhere, then it will be eaten by scavengers such as hyena, jackal, vulture. All these will come under scavengers. So there's another step here. Maybe after the eagle dies, it is consumed by scavengers. Then after the scavengers are also done eating the flesh, then come the decomposers. What the decomposers will do, they will break down the dead body into small tiny materials, and they will decompose it completely. The decomposers will decompose the food completely. And then again, after decomposing, the food will go back to soil, and on soil, the producers will grow. So, this is basically a food cycle. So, please pause and take a look at this again, and I hope you understand it. That's it for today. Bye bye. I hope you understood the lesson. If you have any doubts, put them in the comment section below. See you soon. Bye bye.